I hope that you brought your cowboy hat for this one because DJT Stock is going to be an absolute rodeo today. I am sure, my friends. Let's talk about it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education, and I told my neighbor I can fit 20 male bovine in my compact sedan. He said that is a load of bull. Figured I would stick with the rodeo-themed jokes for this one. I'm going to cover more than just DJT stock in this video, but it is something that I want to focus on, and I'll talk about other stocks surrounding what we're seeing. So also provide some updates. So we'll kick off that technical analysis view, and we have some news coming out of Tesla as well. I'll share that, and we'll check out that price action. So kicking things off here, DJT, where are we at in the pre-market hours? In the pre-market hours, we are gapping well above, as expected, what we closed at. We closed at $30.89. We are currently trading, as I record this video, just under $46 per share. And if we take a look at what that looks like, let's go down to the 5-minute chart. Look at that pickle right there on the 5-minute chart. The volume in that first 5 minutes, absolutely astounding volume that we have in the pre-market hours. Let me grab my volume indicator here. We'll stretch that out so that you guys can see it. There we go. So just in that first 5 minutes, almost 700,000 shares traded in the pre-market hours. This pre-market volume is dwarfing, by the way, the regular trading hours that we had the day before. I don't know. Can you? We'll put that up on the screen so that you can see that. This is going to be enormous. And so I hope that you're watching this, and I do want to recap. If you haven't seen my other 2 videos that I've covered on this, make sure that you go back and see them. So just a quick recap. We've been in a consolidation pattern. We know what happened over the weekend. I'm not going to keep on going over that and dwelling on it because this is a finance channel, but I will talk about the financial implications of it. And I do when I meant what I said in that first video. I call this an all-time high, but I didn't look far enough left. We actually, when we switched over to or first heard about the merger between DWAC and DJT, hit $175 per share during regular trading hours. We also hit $100 per share following that. So this retest of 80, we could possibly see that coming in for us if we get a big enough spike here. The last time that we hit that was when the merger was announced, switching over from, or when the merger occurred between DWAC and DJT. So we'll move on from there. That this could be an absolutely just wild and incredible day today. We did hit about $50 per share in the pre-market hours, so up above like about 60% or so. We've trailed off a little bit since then, and I expect this thing to whip around wildly during that time. I do have an order out for some wildly out of the money calls on this thing, and I marked up the premium a little bit on that as well. I don't want to put too much exposure into something that is going to be so wild and volatile. We don't know where that's going to go, but there is that potential for that 150% plus upside. So if I can be part of that, I would absolutely love to be part of that. I have people commenting on my other videos that they already have calls for this, and that is incredible. If you're some of those people, I don't need to know dollar amounts. We'll keep that out of the equation, but you can let me know the percent gain that you experienced, because I would love to hear about those victories that you've had in the market. Let's get to some of the other things. So SPY, I've updated some of the technicals here. And you can see in the pre-market hours, we closed at under 560. And now in the pre-market, we're up at 562. So SPY, broadly speaking, a lot of stocks are up during this time. And I made a video, my first one yesterday was about, is Bitcoin showing us what's going to happen? And so far, I got to say, that's actually looking like Bitcoin, which is looking like it was going to turn things around. It was going to be bullish for the day. So far, we're seeing that pre-market hours. We'll see when the regular hours hit. So same thing for QQQ. You can see what we had with the critical resistance, the bearish engulfing candle, the 20-day moving average support. We're in a bull channel. And even though we had the engulfing candle and then we had this high wick on the top, this weekend could be a game changer. It's going to throw volatility at us. So we'll see if we're able to climb back up off of this, off of some of the certainty, or better certainty, I should say, due to the election. I think there's a large sentiment shift that is taking place, and I have some other evidence for you that I will show that supports that case for further evidence that Trump is favored to win the election. And like I said, not political here, just want to talk about financial implications of those politics. So moving on from there, over to Bitcoin, breaking up above 60,000. So we had 60,000 resistance in my previous video. Now it's 60,000 support. So we were able to get a full candle above that. As long as this candle for today closes, we got that 50-day to take on yet. So this could take us, well, actually, let me do something here. I'm going to grab a Fibonacci. I won't leave it on here because I know this is already a very messy chart, but I did just want to talk about the retracement levels because we actually came up and just from most recent peak down to trough, we've hit the 50% Fibonacci. 61.8 is just under 65,000. If we can clear 65,000, we have a green light to head back up to 72,000, potentially retaking another shot at that all-time high of over 74,000 per BTC. And that happened back here. I think this was the day. I'm sorry, not over, just under 74,000. 73,794 looks to be that all-time high price that we're looking to overtake for Bitcoin. Now, Tesla, I said, could also benefit from this, from the endorsement from Elon Musk, but there's more to it than that. Some of it is the exposure to China, I should say, or the tariffs on China, and really being a kind of a bad day for China stocks in general. But I will say that the Chinese EV market also in that sort of competition where at least the US might be involved in that. I think that we're also seeing some benefit there. And there is a news story that goes along with what we're seeing for Tesla. So let me put that up there for you. There we go, so that you can see it. So North America, so this goes back to May when this upgrade that is being talked about was first something where people could pay $1,000 to $2,000 basically for older model Teslas for an over-the-air software update that can get them additional range. And so this was pending regulatory approval, and it sounds like that approval is coming through, and that is also a positive catalyst because that means helping out the margin, helping out that bottom line. And Elon Musk commented something to the effect of "got to make money somehow," and I think that them getting creative on how to really fill out the top line revenues and also increase the bottom line margin is going to be very good for Tesla. So we're seeing some of that excitement along, like I said, with the endorsement, the financial endorsement for Trump, and also the verbal, or I should say written endorsement of Trump that we got on X as well. So I think that we have a double whammy happening here between the news of the regulatory approval for that charge for the over-the-air upgrade for older Model Ys, I believe it is. And so that I think helps to explain some of what we're seeing. If I jump ahead just to the what we're seeing for like triple leverage for some of the Chinese stocks, we are trading down in the pre-market hours on this. As a matter of fact, if I pop this out, and we'll get to solar in just a moment here, move this over to EV, NEO down by almost 2%, XPeng 4.4, Li 3.34 on this one. If I go to the Chinese stocks, where I have a few Chinese stocks there, we also have some, although they seem to be recovering a little bit in the pre-market hours, certainly that initial impact on that, not too great. Nvidia is one that I said that we need to retake $130 per share, and the pre-market hours are at 131. As long as we're able to stay above 130, then we do have a run at that price target of $140 per share from this ascending triangle pattern. Kind of peekabooed out over it, but then we had a broader market sell-off going back to Thursday, bit of a recovery on Friday. And if we were to put the Fibonacci's on this one, you'll see where we ended up on that from peak to trough during those pre-market hours, right between the 50, the 0.5 and the 0.1618. So that could definitely retrace back down on us. But like I said, if we can keep that 130 level, then we have that run at that 140. Further impacts for Nvidia, by the way, would be the big tech earnings that potentially start, probably, Tesla being on the 23rd, and then others happening that week, most likely between Wednesday, Thursday. By Thursday, a lot of the big tech like Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, we should hear from them. And then definitely by the following week, we get Apple tossed in there as well. So what else got impacted? Let me toss this up here. Solar. This is Enphase, which is one that I've talked a lot about in this channel. We saw a lot of appreciation of a lot of this bounce off this support line from a range-bound trade. And if we do go to a Republican presidency here, which is currently something that just shifted quite a bit, especially on a sentiment basis, you can see that we're getting some of that sell down, recovering to about 114. This thing did bottom out, by the way, during these pre-market hours. The low price 111.67, so just under 112. Now recovering a little bit. We'll see what happens when the market opens. If we're going to get a sustained sell-off in solar, that we're going to sell back down for a little while, or if it's something that is going to recover. And so that is what is going on during the pre-market hours here. We'll see what happens with DJT stock. Like I said, if you're already in it, I would love to know those percent gains. We can keep the dollar amounts out of it. I don't need to know that about that, not that intensely Personal disclosure, I would never ask for that, but the percent gains I think is something reasonable. So that way, if you made 200% and it, is just one option contract or something like that, or maybe it was just a few dollars, I don't need to know that. I don't need to know how many shares. I don't need to know how many contracts. But it would be cool for something like this if it was a big win for you. I would love to hear about it. And then, let me know what you think about BTC. Let me know what you think about Tesla in this, Nvidia. I think that we could actually have a significant bullish run coming in some parts of these markets. DJT, of course, BTC. I think that crypto itself, Ethereum, by the way, one little bonus for you. Let me toss up Ethereum. So for Ethereum, you could see where we're at right now, above the 200, just as with Bitcoin, down below the 50-day simple moving average, just as with Bitcoin. So we have a similar movement going on with crypto right now. It looks like this this resistance that we had for a trend line that we were sort of selling along this way, that we're starting to break up above that as well. So we'll see if we get a further run. The RSI is looking good. Bitcoin's RSI is looking good. I better wrap this thing up, guys, so I don't go on forever about this, although I could talk about this kind of stuff all day. I really do love if you guys want to talk more with me. You can meet me over at the Discord, available through the Patreon. That link is down in the description. See my buys and sells, see how I'm playing this market. Share the excitement about the DJT stock with me. We'd absolutely love to have you over there as part of the community. Also, if you learn to do technical analysis trading like I do, you can find that link for the technical analysis trading course also down in the description. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.